Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera to Puan Wahida and friends. My name is Muhammad Hashimi bin Abdul Muttalib. My matrix number is 10DLS19F1094. Today I would like to present about the first, is it legal for the workers to picket? My answer is illegal. Because if any workers have a problem with their employer, they just need to report to trade union, that organization that assists workers in conflict which arise in workplace between management and themselves. It is mandatory bodies which help to settle this dispute between workers and management. Trade union were born out of the workers' grievances and frustration with the way in which certain work activities were organized and carried out by management. A dispute therefore needs to be settled as early as possible. Various methods are available for resolving dispute. The first method is collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is probably the most effective method to resolving industrial dispute. It occurs when representative of a labor union meet management representative to determine employees' wages and benefit, to create revised work rules, and to resolve dispute of violation of the labor contract. The bargaining is collective in the sense that the chosen representative of the employees act as a bargaining agent for all the employees in carrying out negotiation and dealing with the management. On the employer side, it is also collective in thus common situation in which the companies have joined together in an employer association for purposes of bargaining with an union. Collective bargain has been viewed from three perspectives. First, as a process of social change. Second, as a peace treaty between the conflicting parties. And the last one, as a system of industry jurisprudence. Collective bargaining benefit both employees as well as employer. This means that the basic interests of the management are protected, and also the right of the employees. The two sides have a responsibility toward each other. For example, union should not expect the management to consider concede on issues which would ultimately impair the company's ability to stay in business. Likewise, the management must recognize the right of employees to form union and to argue for improved wages and working conditions. The second method is conciliation. Conciliation is a process by which a representative of workers and employers are brought together before a third party with a view to persuade them to arrive at an agreement by mutual discussion between them. The third party may be one individual or a group of people. The alternative name for third party is mediator. It may be stated that the conciliator has no power to force a settlement, but can work with parties separately to determine their respective positions. Explains a position more fully to the opposition. Points points out bases for agreement that may not have been apparent previously help in the search for solution, and generally facilitates the reach of an agreement. In effect, mediators act as communications catalyze, and their effectiveness depend on their impartiality and on their capacity to win the trust of both parties. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning to Puan Wahida. I'm Muhammad Hazim Faik bin Muhammad Azrun. My metric number is 10 DNS 19F1098. I will continue with the question 1. Question 1. Okay. Classify the procedure in solving industrial dispute in an organization. Okay. First, in the question 1, I give the solution is arbitration. What is arbitration? Arbitration is attended by the parties who fail to reach a settlement by a voluntary method. The disputing parties may then appoint an arbitrator and refer the dispute to him. The arbitration discussion is binding on the parties referring the dispute to arbitration. Okay. Arbitration can be done voluntarily or compulsory. Employers and employees can agree to resolve dispute by appointing independent and impartial people. Arbitration provides justice at a minimal cost, and industrial dispute may be referred to an arbitrator with a written agreement made by employer and the employee at any time before referring the dispute to a labor court, industrial court, or a national court. For example, case Midwest Airlines flight attendants contract dispute following the 2009 Republic Airways holding purchase of Midwest Airlines. More than 400 Midwest Airlines flight attendants complained of a contract violation, as 100 found themselves laid off in favor of non-Midwest employees, paid as much as 70% less. As it turned out, the Midwest flight attendant union contract contained specific provision protecting their jobs in the event the airline was purchased by another company. As this provision had been violated, the Association of Flight Attendants is a AFA filed a grievance accusing Republic Airways of violating their contract. The AFA struck a major victory in the March 2011 arbitration ruling. They required a settlement to be negotiated between Republic Airways and the union to be in the best interest of the former Midwest flight attendant. In the small conclusion, arbitration is effective as a means of resolving dispute because it is established by the parties themselves, and the decision is acceptable to them and relatively expeditious when compared to court or tribunals. Delay are cut down and settlements are speed up. And we go to the next slide. The next point is a mediation. Mediation is an attempt to settle dispute with the help of an outsider who attempts to stimulate labor and management to reach some type of agreement. The mediator, unlike an arbitrator cannot decide the issue. He listens, suggests, communicates, and pursues. He does not not give any award. Mediation is a method dispute resolution through discussion mediated by one or more mediator from the Ministry of Manpower concerning dispute or rights, interests, layoff, and dispute between workers' union within a company. In mediation, if there is an agreement between parties, mutual agreements will be made and registered to Industrial Relation Court. However, if there is no agreement can be reached by parties, the mediator will issue a written suggestion. If such suggestion is accepted, the parties will register the suggestion to the Industrial Relation Court. For example, case Molly works in the information department. Bobby is her boss. She has had difficulties arriving to work on time and is always apologetic. But Bobby feels she is just making excuse. Anger and resentment build as the issue remains unresolved. After several heated discussion, the two find it difficult to converse without argue. Bobby does not want to fire her being a single mom Molly, because Molly needs the job to support her children. Molly truly makes an effort to be at work on time, but trying to get three young children ready for school short of a formal disciplinary action, they select to contact an alternative dispute resolution committee member. Okay, that's all from me. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Salam sejahtera to Puan Wahida. My name is Tommy Yasri Anak Arif and my metric number is 10LS19F1013. First of all, the question that I got in this case study is, would you agree that picketing is the best solution to the problem faced by the workers? Show the condition before running the picket. Okay, first my answer is disagree.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Because any industrial dispute that exists between employees and employers should be through negotiation. But if this method is less effective, the workers can take aggressive action by launching pickets and strike. Both of these ways are allowed by law. Employers, on the other hand, took action to close the door in response to pressure on employees. All of these are called enterprise action. Next, the meaning of pickets. Picket means standing or marching in front of a business or office premises for the purpose of exposing to the public the grievance of employees or any form of protest. The Industrial Relation Act 1967 APP allows one or more employees to be present at or near where they work faithfully for the purpose of: first, obtain or convey information; second, persuading or inducing any employee to work or not to work when there is an enterprise dispute. Okay, we go to the next slide. However, the picket must be done safely, not threatening anyone, not obstructing the way or entrance and exit to the employer's premises by employees who are directly involved in the dispute, and officers or employees may be present only for the purpose of maintaining order and discipline and to ensure that the employees comply with the relevant provisions. The time allowed to picket is outside working hours, namely at lunchtime, before and after work hours. Next slide. This slide is mentioned for any person who acts contrary to the terms and purpose of the picket is the committing an offence and on conviction. may be liable to the following punishment, which is imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year, and the fine shall not exceed 1,000 ringgit. Pickets are no longer allowed once the dispute has been referred to the Enterprise Court for arbitration. That's all from me. Thank you.
Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Arif Fahmi Biman Asmadi. My tier number 10 DLS1 and F1021. Now I will continue to next question. Question C. What might be the short-term and long-term implication for H&R company if the worker were to picket? Analyze two short-term and long-term implication. Two short-term implication is one is employees will not be able to give full attention to completing work. It is because employees have a new desire and are not the same as company goals. They only ask for an annual salary increase of 50 ringgit only and annual leave, but the company did not care. With this, the employee feel unfit to work better and not commensurate with the reward salary given. Number two is the relationship between the employee and the employer is not good. This is because the understanding between the employee and the employer is not longer the same and not good. With this, does not have good cooperation between them will cause misunderstanding and cannot achieve a good deal between employees and employer. Two long-term implication. First, the reputation of the company will be underestimated. It is because the company has a record involving a picket among employees. Therefore, the public, investor, and other company will not work with company because it has a pure record. They will worry that working with the company will come at a loss, and they will find other companies to work together. The second is new employee wishing to apply for vacancies in the premise will be more careful and not sure to work in the company because the company has a picket record. This indicates that the company has employee management problem. With that, new employees will find job in better companies. Therefore, the company will lack talented new employees.